When you think about all the positions in the game of baseball, what would you say is the most important position on the field? There could be a few different answers to this question, but I bet most of you would say the pitcher. If you think about it, each play in baseball can't start until the pitcher throws the ball. That's why it seems like so many young players want to be pitchers. But before young pitchers can start dominating the game, they have to establish a foundation of mechanics that are easily repeatable and produce consistent accuracy. Above everything else, throwing strikes is most important, and that's what today's Bullpen Bulletin is all about. I'm teaching you the exact 5 basic mechanics that I learned when I was 9 years old and was the backbone of my pitching motion all the way up to the collegiate level. Hey team, Coach Hart here with Budding Better Baseball, the best place for baseball education. This channel is all about youth baseball improvement for players and coaches. So if you'd like to learn more about baseball and take your game to the next level, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my weekly videos to help you in your baseball journey. I even have a couple free guides that I'm going to give you at the end of this video, so make sure you don't miss out. But for now, let's make sure your pitching mechanics are on point with these 5 easy steps. Step number 1 is having a comfortable setup. How you set up on the rubber is so important because it sets the tone for your entire motion. Are you standing in a balanced stance? Are you standing in the spot of the rubber that's comfortable for you? Are you able to start your motion with little effort? The most important question to ask yourself when you set up on the rubber is, can I stand in this position for a long period of time? You have to remember that when you set up on the rubber, there's so many things happening. You're looking into the catcher to get your pitching signs. You're looking at the batter and where they're set up in the box. You're thinking about the runners on base if there are any. You're thinking about the situation and where you're going to go with the ball if it's hit back to you. There's so many things running through your mind that you don't want to have to think about keeping your stance on the rubber. Make sure your setup is comfortable and you could stand there forever if you needed to. Number 2 is we're focusing on our lower half and we're talking about our leg lift. The first part of the motion is the leg lift. The purpose of the leg lift is to generate and build up the power and velocity that you're going to use when you throw the pitch. If you didn't have a leg lift, you would just be stepping and throwing like you usually do in warm-ups. And as I'm sure you know, pitching is not a warm-up throw. When you lift your leg, you want to get your knee at least even with your hip, with your hamstring parallel to the ground. If you don't know what your hamstring is, it's the back of your leg right here. This needs to be parallel with the ground and your knee should be even with your hip. This is too low. You're not going to get a lot of power like this. You want your knee at least even with your hip. If you can get it higher like this, that's even better, but at least parallel with your hip. And another thing, you should make sure that your hanging foot is loose and it's not tight and flexed like this. Make sure it's kind of just hanging and dangling there and it's loose. There are a lot of opinions on the best way to stride toward home plate after the leg lift. I'm not saying my way is right or wrong, it's just what worked for me. My way of striding was the down and out method. Your leg will move in a capital L form and go down and out, which looks like this. Your leg is going to come up like this, even with your hip, and you're going to go down and out towards the plate, just like this. Up, down, and out in a capital L motion. If you stride forward from the top of your leg lift, you'll do something that I call open the door. Your leg is a door, and you want to keep it closed all the way through your stride. If you open the door, that'll open your hips too soon and you lose all of your power before your arm comes through to throw. Keeping the door closed will harness that power and it'll be released when your front foot lands like it's supposed to. So opening the door looks like this. If you come up like this and then you open the door like this and you stride from the top of your leg lift, you are opening up your hips and you're completely losing all of your power. That's why when you come up like this, you keep the door closed, down and out, you are still harnessing all of that power in your lower half. So again, when you open the door, you come up here like this, and you open your door just like this, and you stride out like that. You're opening up your hips when you do that, and you're losing all of your power. You want to make sure that you go up here, you go down and out, keeping the door closed. You want to keep this closed. Boom, boom, just like that. Number 3 is we're focusing on our upper half and it's called the split. The upper half motion is working at the exact same time as your lower half motion, and we're going to connect them in the next point. If you've seen my video, How to Throw 5 Easy Steps to Throwing a Baseball, then this should look familiar. The upper half motion is the split of the arms. Whether you start with your hand in your glove or you put your hand in your glove at the last second, at some point before the leg lift, your hand is going to be in your glove. I always have my glove start in the front of my body. That's what was comfortable for me. You can have it start wherever you'd like, but it's all going to split in the same way. When you think about doing your split, you have to think about making a capital W with your arms. Your glove and your hand both go down to the center of your body near your belly button, and then they split out to the sides, just like in your capital W. So like this, like that, boom, capital W, just like this. Your throwing arm palm is facing away from you with your arm bent. Your glove arm is slightly bent out in front, pointing to the catcher, and you have a straight line from your elbow all the way through your back to your other elbow. And that line, that straight line, is pointing to your target where you're going to throw. One more thing is you have to think of your arms like a seesaw. They have to be equally spread from the center of your body. One can't be like this and one can't be like this, unbalanced. They have to be equally spread from the center of your body. Number 4 is we're connecting your upper half and your lower half, and your glove is attached to your knee. Now we're going to connect the upper and the lower half. The next cue I'm going to give you is the most important thing to remember in the entire pitching motion. It's the biggest connection between the upper and the lower half, and it's the biggest part that creates the correct timing in the motion. You're going to imagine that there's a string that's attached from your glove to your front knee. Your glove is attached to your knee. Wherever your knee goes, your glove goes. Wherever your glove goes, your knee goes. Your glove is attached to your knee. As you do your leg lift and your knee comes up, your glove with your hand inside also comes up. As you complete the capital L motion, the down and out with your leg, you're also completing the capital W with your split, just like this. Boom. You see that? Glove attached to your knee. Boom, boom. As my knee goes out, down and out, I'm doing the capital W with my split. Boom, boom. Like this. Boom. Just like that. Your glove and your knee move in the same way. When your front foot lands, you should be fully balanced with both halves of your body, with your lower half door closed and your upper half elbow line pointing to your target. So that motion again looks like this. Up, down and out. Boom. Split, capital W with your arms, capital L down and out with your legs. Glove attached to your knee. Boom. Connecting the upper and the lower half of your motion and moving them with identical timing and speed is everything in your pitching motion. If your lower half is ahead of your upper half, you're most likely going to miss high into your arm side. If your upper half is ahead of your lower half, that most likely means that you're going to miss low into your glove side. If your upper and your lower half are not connected and moving in the same way, you're going to miss side to side and you're not going to be very accurate. Connecting the upper and the lower half is everything in your pitching motion. Remembering the cue of glove attached to your knee will really help you in your timing. Number 5 is fire forward and follow through. The last part of the motion is just pitching the ball. We've gone through the entire motion and we've arrived at our balanced stance with all the power and velocity ready to be used behind the pitch. The cue you're going to remember here is front foot lands, fire forward. This is telling you that when your front foot hits the ground, that's your cue to fire everything forward to pitch the ball. You'll use your core and your leg muscles to twist and fire your hips forward, shifting your weight from nearly balanced to almost all on your front leg. Just like this. Twisting, twisting, firing your hips forward, shifting your weight from balanced all the way to your front leg. This will twist and fire your top half forward and bring your arm through almost like a whip to pitch the ball. As you're coming forward, make sure you keep your chest up and over your front knee and keep your back foot on the ground until after you release the pitch. Release the pitch out in front, making sure it comes off of your first 2 fingers, and follow through to your opposite hip. Once you release the ball, you can bring your back leg through and forward into your ready position to field the ball. Now you're the 8th fielder on the field. Let me know one thing you learned about the pitching motion today. Is there anything else I can help you with or any questions that I can answer for you? Leave your questions in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. This video is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to being a successful pitcher. If you'd like to learn everything that I know about having long-term success on the mound so you can have the pitching knowledge that can take you to the collegiate level, be sure to check out my Pitching Basics lesson training course. The link is in the description below. I also have a free baseball equipment sizing guide if you need some help finding the right baseball equipment fit. And there's also a free 2-hour practice plan for coaches who are looking for some help on improving their practices. They're all down in the description. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope this video taught you exactly how to have a successful pitching motion that produces more accuracy and more strikes. I'll see you next week for another edition of the Bullpen Bulletin.